Hi, it's me, she. I'm back here today on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. Today we have a new moon. The new moon is July 31st. So we're looking at a day of five. Fives are changes. And with that five, we have a new moon phase in the moon. So when we talk about the new moon, we're talking about our body, mind, and spirit. And it affects with this new moon being here tonight. And I wanted to do the video today. I tried to do it yesterday, but in meditation, my spirits shared with me that today at 11:11 tonight on 7:31 we will have a new moon, and the new moon will affect our mind, our body, and our emotions. And so it means that it's going to increase our experience towards our appetite, towards our energy, as well as how we actually will sleep tonight. So that means we may sleep a little less, a little less. Your mind may be in what we call a monkey mind. And so when you're sleeping less, that means you actually wake up early. So I'm sorry, guys. So I also meditated. I did my crystal direction, and my crystal direction put us in an energy of our sacral chakra, which is our Swadhisthana chakra. That chakra sits, and I'm, showing you the energy. In this energy, the color is orange, or between an orange and a yellow. And I've had it resting, doing my meditation on our cards, so that we can set our intent in that area of our sacral. And when we're talking about our sacral chakra, we're talking about sexuality and pleasure. We're talking about how we communicate that energy with our partners, in conjunction with how we just accept and move energy through new experiences. It's located at our abdomen, 2 inches below the navel and 2 inches in. So if we go up, if you think about the back, your spine, and your spine running from the top of your tail. Your sexual energy does not literally sit in your sexual organs, but it sits just above. So when you have blockage in your lower abdomen, you will, kind of have some issues with your well-being, your pleasure, your organs, kidneys. You may have constipation, bowel movements in your immune system. Everything affects your immune system. So when your sense of abundance feels blocked, that's also, we're talking about your sacral chakra as well. So to fire that up, I have set the intent on our sacral chakra. Last week, we were in the area of our heart, and we talked about our vibration was actually vibrating in the tune where we were in our root chakra, but our chakra was actually focusing on our heart. So this week, the vibration is set for the sacral chakra. So we're moving up in energy. When I talk about energy, guys, I've had a few people question me or ask me about the chakras. A lot of people have heard about the chakras, but they really haven't dive down deep. So we're going to dive down deep in the rabbit's hole. The whole month of July, we've been going down the rabbit's hole. Like Alice in Wonderland, the child story that some of us grew up with reading or in literature. We've learned about Alice in Wonderland. And in Alice in Wonderland, Alice actually went into the rabbit's hole. And going down into the rabbit's hole means that you are going down into yourself. We talked about actually when you meditate, how you go inside. I also set a challenge last week. On Tuesday last week, I said for a week, every day in meditation, or even if not in meditation, but when you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, or when you make your first breath before you even get to a mirror, you would have said to yourself, just for today, I will love myself. I don't know how many people took that challenge. If you took that challenge over the week and you found yourself being a little more self-caring, self-giving, self-focused, that was what the challenge was about. It was about being in tune into the energy of self-love. So this week we're looking into the spiral, or what I call the spiral staircase. And that means you're going down, you're going deep into ourselves. And so the intent is our sacral chakra and how we can actually build that energy from this point on, which is a new moon. And with this new moon, in my meditation, I came in with the shark. And when you're talking about the shark, in my weekly travel this week, oh my God, I had an amazing travel week. I met some amazing women in this past travel week. If anyone is in the New York area and you're interested in a yoga practice, I met a beautiful, beautiful woman who told me she teaches yoga in the New York area. If you're interested, contact me, and I will. I got her card so that I can share her information, because I think she's a very powerful, powerful, beautiful person, and I've now encountered her twice. So I know I'm going to see her again. Third time's a charm. So that told me this is someone I need to make notice and pay attention to. So if you're in the New York area, please contact me and let me know you're looking for someone to start your yoga ventures or continue your journey in the yoga area, and I will direct you. We have the shark as our animal spirit. I did do an animal spirit this week with our animal spiritual cards from the Animal Spirit by Kim Carnes. And in this card came up the shark. So when this shark came out, it said to me, the shark actually is a water animal, and it's been wet. We've been talking about this summer and spring, and even the winter has been very, very wet. We've had all kinds of hurricanes and tornadoes, and globally coming upon our shores and coming from our skies. So when you go into the water of the shark, the waters of the shark, I was actually in the airport, guys. I was coming through Denver, and I saw on the airline, I think it's Southwest, they had someone walking around dressed as a shark. And I saw her take the uniform off after she was having her shark moment with the kids who were traveling for the summer. And they all loved it. She, kind of smiled like, you didn't see me take off my uniform. You don't know who I am. Because the energy of the shark actually is directness, it's exposure. She was exposed. She revealed to me her true nature and desire, just as I came around the corner by accident and I discovered who the person was in the shark costume. Sharks are only dangerous, though, when we don't acknowledge them, when we don't respect their environment. This card indicates that something big needs to be exposed. So if you guys are lurking in your life and you're finding yourself in depths of tension, creative tension, sexual energy tension, work tension, hesitant to be honest in your environment, to be totally ourselves, that is saying, this shark is saying what we really want is to expose how we're really feeling. We no longer want to continue to pretend nothing is wrong. So this shark energy is at play when we feel, the energy is like encircling us. So when your energy of this shark comes along, it's time to bring honesty into balance. That means, it's like when you watch the movie about the sharks, or any of those movies, dun 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 dun, and the shark is coming. Look at the shark, look at his teeth, look at his face. He's saying, I'm coming for you, I'm coming to get you, I'm coming to expose you, and if you don't pay attention to me, you're going to be bleeding. I'm going to eat you alive. So for the next week, our energies are in the energies of that shark. Our spiritual animal this week is the shark. So if you guys are out there hiding or pretending or not focusing on who you are, remember, just for today, I will love myself. And then, so for the next week, let's add on to just for today, I would love myself. And say, just for today, you add that I will no longer pretend to blank blank. Since the shark is here, I'm going to say, just for today, I will no longer pretend to be blank, blank, blank. I will no longer pretend to do blank, blank, blank. And so for the next week, in meditation, you breathe in, hold it at the top. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, just for today. Breathe out and think about what you will no longer put up with. So just for today, every day for the next week, if I see you next Tuesday or Wednesday, your challenge is, just for today, I will no longer pretend, and you fill in the blank. Okay, I'm going to shuffle the cards. If you saw, I kind of lost control of these cards when I was in the energy of that shark, because again, that is what the shark is demanding. He's demanding his attention, and if you do not give him that attention, your life next week will be in chaos. So this week our intention is set on our sacral chakra, and we will no longer pretend to put up with blank, blank, blank. Dear Shaman, Mystical Shaman Oracle, give us a card or cards that will help us over the next week determine with that shark energy what we will no longer, our energy, our sacral chakra, our love, our sexual being, how we will express ourselves, how we will exude that confidence of our being and our creativity, with it being a number 5 day today and the new moon, a new beginning of how we plan to move forward in our lives, in our intent, and in our love. So I think I've been shuffling for a few minutes. I do feel another card. I have a few cards that came out, but I'm continuing to go because I feel like that was not it. These cards are fluid. I totally feel like whatever just came out a few minutes ago was it. Woo. Guys. Woo. That shark is something else. Wow. I hope you guys tapped into that attunement last week. And if you are in our circle, when I did my attunement, I was thinking of you, and so I cannot say that you benefited if you did not contact me and make sure that your name and your presence was a part of that meditation. If moving forward you want to be a part of our attunement session, where you actually will have an attunement, a Reiki attunement from a distance, please let me know and I'll add you to the list, your name. And the easiest way to do it is to just subscribe. Just below, if you click on subscribe, just hit subscribe. And so when I do my attunements distantly, you'll be tapped into these energies and get some of that good vibration to help unblock some of those chakras and those challenges you have through the week. So we're going to go ahead and start with these cards. I have quite a few cards that actually fell out. So I'm going to try to go through them as quickly. We're going to just jump in and let's do it. So I'm just going to turn them over. I picked them up. I don't even know if I should start from the bottom or the top, but we're going to start from the top. So I'm going to flip that card. There's the arrow. Guys, look at the arrow. Look at the sun behind the arrow. We've had this arrow. I've talked about this arrow before. This arrow is a very powerful, powerful card. So when we're looking at the arrow, we're looking at a number 3. Guys, we are continually to go through changes and creativity. August is coming. The heat of the summer of August. And we've had some hot days, but with those hot days, it also has come some cool days. I actually spent time the past week on the West Coast in the Valley of Sacramento area and up along San Francisco area. And the temperatures actually was somewhere in the, it was like 105 degrees. On the West Coast, it's not the same here in the United States, and if you're in on the east side, because the west is not, they're not used to extreme heat temperatures. So we've been having, you see that, look at this card. Let's take a look at this card. You see the sun that is orange, and we see the sun that is yellow. This orange is our sacral chakra. This yellow is our solar plexus, which is actually, in this card, is rising below the sacral, and the solar plexus actually should be above the sacral chakra. The should be flipped. So with the arrow being here, and I think I mentioned before that when we have this arrow here, the alignment is about our heart and our soul. It's about being on target. It's about understanding and releasing attachments. It's about being in your true calling. It's about being unbondage, being unbridled, being loose. It's about taking that arrow and making your mark just by pointing that arrow, just by aiming. If you just aim that arrow, it's going to hit its target. It doesn't matter if they're flipped, if they move, if they're switched. It will find the right target of where you are and where your destiny are. Oh my God. Guys, we had this card before. We're going to flip our next card to see what it is saying this time about our arrow. Again, it's the flow. It's a number 2 card. It's choices. The arrow was number 3, which is creativity. Number 2, it says 20. In numerology, you break it down to its lowest denominator. It's a 2 card. And so it's choices. Which way do you choose to point your arrow? Because look at her hands. Do you see how she is controlling and managing the flow of the liquids between her hands? The alchemy, the water, the natural movements that happen in our world is right between your hands. With that arrow, it's just saying aim. With the flow card, it's saying that you have the ocean, the flow of the ocean, the flow of the earth in the palm of your hand. So the flow card comes, and we've had this card before. It's a sign that your intentions are in motion. And we set the intention in our sacral chakra. And our energy of our life, the meaning of our ebb and our flow, and our sexual being, and our life desires are in the palm of our hand. Oh my God, really? Does it get any better than this? Okay, let me take a few moments. Look at that card, guys. Look at the screen. We have been in a moment of completion. I opened this reading with the energy of the spiral of life. It's like a beautiful staircase. And just look at that screen for a moment. That goes around and around and around. And it has a pattern of completion and a pattern that never ends. And so with the completion card, we're back at attainment. We're back with this serpent. We're back with this kundalini energy. And with oh my God, I feel like when I'm just clarifying, I'm reiterating the energy and the flow that we're in. Last week we did have some trouble that showed up with someone in our circle. But we have this completion card. Look at the snake. Look at the rainbow of that snake. Look at the heart in the image of that snake. Look at the arrows in all four directions. We talked about the 4 elements. We talked about the 4 directions. All things have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's just the nature of life. The seed, the flower, the fruit, and the human relationships. This card of completion suggests the fullness of the moment and the need to transform an old form into a new one. We talked about this being a new moon day, 11/11. And this Orbos, or this snake, or this cycle is finished. So we are in a time for celebration. It is a time of summer when the fruit is ripe for completion. And so when we're beginning a new journey, one has to end. One has to have come to completion in order for us to move forward into a new journey. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're going to flip the next card. See? The hummingbird. Look at the hummingbird. And this is the first time I remember, not that, we're about where I started on in April. So we are in, but this is the first time I remember the hummingbird. And so when we add the 6 and the 2, we come up to an 8. And 8 with this hummingbird in the summertime is June, where the hummingbirds, there actually is like a little birdhouse where you can put liquid in and have those hummingbirds come visit you so they can drink the nectar. There's a yoga expression about nectar. And so when we're talking about the hummingbird, we're talking about being in the nectar of the journey. So think about when a hummingbird visits a flower and how it kind of hovers over that flower, sucking out its juices. Hummingbirds, they journey, they travel. Even though they're a little bird, they actually travel or migrate between North and Central or South America so that they can feed from the summer's nectar. This little sweet, gentle creature can be fiercely territorial to protect his home. hummingbirds, this little hummingbird, I don't know, it's hard to see hummingbirds unless you actually have flowers blooming around you. But we have this hummingbird in our energy that is teaching us to be gentle to ourselves and to protect our personal space. This little baby also invites us to embark on our new quest, our new adventure. And remember, any old pains or hurts that we had in the past, we have to shrug them off, leave them behind, and head for the new flower or the new flowers, so we can learn to trust again, and ever so softly in our new adventure, learn to say yes to life. Learn to be present in our journey. And this hummingbird, if you look at this card, this hummingbird has the beauty of the sun radiating behind it. Guys, I mean, I shared before that we are in the half-year point of the year, meaning that we have spent 6 months on this journey, and we have already reached a point of completion. And the witness, we've had this beauty before. And 6 and 4 are ones. Happening now. New ideas. We are still in the same energy. So being that we are in the same energy, that means we're getting better. We are fine-tuning. We are actually getting comfortable with our bounty, with our blessings, and the witnesses in our lives are still cultivating, and observing, so they can tell the story. So they can, be the person who's present to say, yeah, she did. Yep, I saw it. I was there. I saw the whole thing. Because the witness never leaves your side. And it's not even something that you plan for. They just happen to be there in the right moment, at the right time, to be the testimony to your truth. And witnessing your accomplishments and the hard work you've been doing. Oh my God. I'm so proud of you guys. Oh my God. This is beautiful. The cards don't lie. Okay, got another card. Gonna turn it over. The win. The win. Wow. We're back at a number 9. And the 9 is attainment. We are attaining. We're catching our dreams. And so, with this little beauty blowing by, the symbol of the wind, it represents the element of air. And air are like Libras, Aquarius. They're living in the element of above. So they're like the rules of communication, thought, inspiration, ideas, change, positive and negative though. So when the wind is coming, so let's visit the south with this card for a minute, okay? Because this is the essence of the wind. The wind just don't go in one direction. It goes to the south. So when it's going to the south, it carries a sense of trust. And in our last card, of the hummingbird and the witness, we're talking about trust. So I'm sensing that trusting in the journey in our path for some has been a little challenging. So when you were in the south, and we talked about the 4 directions, so when you're in the south, that means that you need to get rid of some habits, guys, that you no longer need. When the wind is blowing to the west, it's saying that the decision is final. Let go of attachments and ego. Just let it go. If you're stuck, if the wind is blowing you to the north, that means it's moving you or bringing you to your wisdom and strength. You want to be in the north. You want to come back around to the top. And when you're in the east, you're carrying clarity of vision and purpose. So whichever way the wind is blowing for you, the message is whispering on the wind, or it might be screaming at you that you're not listening. And it may take courage for you to face the wind, because you might be like running from the wind, so that you can get out of the stuck of being in the south, so you can learn to trust the process of these energies. And when the west, if you're stuck on the west, make a decision and then actually move. Change. Wow. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Look at that bird. You see a little bird here? You see a little bird? I've been seeing birds everywhere I go. They're just flying. It's like they're sitting, and then as soon as I come, they start coming right across my path. The sun, we've been talking about the sun is showing up. Look at that sun. Actually, that sun looks like the moon. Wow. The sun. When the sun is here, guys, we're talking about infinity. We're talking about an 8. And so when the sun comes in, the sun comes in. I just had to turn around and look at it. The sun is not the moon. We had the moon last week. This week, moving forward, we're talking about the sun. And the sun is a masculine force. So the moon, if the moon is feminine and it carries emotions, that means the sun carries strength. And so that means that if you are feminine, and again, energies are not gender specific, because we all need to have feminine and masculine energies. So if you're in a masculine force, that means you are in full power, that your brilliant light is shining on this earth, and it's coming from the darkness, coming into light, and it's bringing light to the earth. The sun has rise and the sun has set. But in its rising and setting, right now we're in summer, so it can get hot. It can actually scorch you if you are not moving again with the wind out of the south and making those decisions and getting rid of those habits, so you can show up, walk into a room, and radiate your light and own it. It's these, right, guys, these cards that I'm in right now, I'm like, we're up to 7 cards. These cards are all we've had before, and we're just back at the Andean cross, the Andean cross. We're just kind of circling back into energies of reminders. And if you're just joining us, guys, these cards have so many much more powerful meaning to how those who have been following up to this point of July 31st, moving into August. It is reminding us where we've been, because we're moving beyond the half-year mark into a new destiny. And so we're revisiting some energies that have been very powerful. And so if you aren't quite following or understanding or not feeling what we're feeling in this circle, and you're just joining it, please go back and start in April so that you can have the full effect, the full power. And if you have been with us, but you've been lost, but you've been trying to hang in here, I would say go back to April and come forward before we start next week in April. This card is the cosmology of the shaman. It depicts the 4 cardinal directions. Again, we're back at the south, the north, the east, and the west, the upper and the lower worlds, and the steps to which these realms provide us the answers to everything that's waiting for us. Look at the hole in the center. It's actually a gateway. It means that when we travel through this world of the middle world, it's like that circle is like the proverbial eye. It's like a needle. It's like, how can I fit through that needle so I can experience higher states of awareness, wisdom, and just break free and be totally free here on my journey in the middle way, and be able to slip seamlessly through the upper worlds and the lower worlds, and from the east to the west to the south and the north. How can I control my life in a way where no matter what happens, whether I understand what the Mayans was going through, what the Egyptians were going through, but that I can go from their world to my world here on this planet at this time with the cross of gold. Are you experiencing that? Guys, I got to tell you, I understand. I get it. I'm there. I'm with it. Because of the ancient ones. It's a number 1. A new beginning. A new moon. Okay, so today is the 31st. Tomorrow is August 1st. Just for today, you start tomorrow with those ancient ones, okay? Because they're here again. They haven't left us because we need them. The ancient ones are the ones that have walked this earth before us. those giants that we say we stand on their shoulders so we can see far and wide. The ones who have broken glass ceilings, the ones who have open doors so that we can just walk through. The ancient ones. Again, if you don't know that card, I say, please go back. Please go back and catch up in these energies. Taming of the Wind. Now that's a new card. And it's a 55. And it brings us back to this one. We are soaring on time. We are in energies of perfection. We are in perfection. Look at the feathers on this card. It's a symbol of ceremony. It's a symbol of cleansing. Smudging means to cleanse. I had to look at it myself. That's a beautiful, beautiful card. Because it's here to remind us about how sacred our consciousness is and how we consciously bring spiritual growth, material growth, and how we infuse it in the world that we live. And so in order for you to actually symbolically bring into your life a partnership with the Great Spirit who co-creates with you your life, the beauty of your life, the blessings of your life, the bounty, the abundance. This card is here to say that we're taming the wind. I just said it before. We have in control with the Andean cross the 4 directions of how that wind blows. We're in full control. And we can do it effortlessly as a feather. If you're not doing that, guys, you haven't been doing the work. And there's another little birdie right there in the corner. Guys, when I say to you that today at 11:11, the new moon comes up, and how vital the work we've been doing, if you've been following me, if you've been following these energies, not me, but the energies. I'm just a vehicle for the energies. Our last card. Oh my God, it's so powerful. I want to cry. It's 11. And it's the council. The council are those luminous beings that we all strive, we all hold, we all collect wisdom of humanity. We all want to be part of that council of luminous beings. And we've had this card. So before you do a life review, and before you leave this world and you go into spirit, the council you will see. But these beings are here. The council are here for us to say, listen and understand and get to know your inner wisdom. because the handwriting is already here, written all over the wall. It's written across the sky. And so now is the time for us to love deeply, forgive sincerely, dare greatly, and just take a leap of trust, because your success is secured. Your success is assured. Your success, because the counsel is pure and simple. It's 11 card. 11 is destiny in everything, in all things. 1111. I think I'm going to have to name this reading 1111. And I'm going to leave it here, guys, because I am overwhelmed. The shark, before he eats me alive, I am going to bathe in these energies this week. I'm personally going to watch this video over again, because when I'm sharing the energies, I'm feeling them, but at the same time, I'm hearing them for the first time too. Thank you. My hands, my heart is in prayer to you, my highest friend. I love you. I'm grateful for your friendship and your connection. I've been reading a beautiful story about creation. And so I'm going to leave you with a dedication from Joseph Campbell. We must be willing to get rid of the life we planned, so as to have the life that is waiting for us. Namaste.